feel most welcome to today's episode of the GK Show. We have a lot of issues we want to discuss today. And our topic of discussion today being 5th of June 2018, we will discuss the impact of ethnic networks on employment. As you are aware, when people immigrate to another country, there is a likelihood of them settling down in areas where people from their ethnic background are staying. A good example, in the United States, the Kisii community are said to be staying in a place called Minnesota. Minnesota is one of the states in the United States. So that is what we are discussing today. And what is the impact of that on employment? One of the reasons why people of the same ethnic community stay together in a foreign country, one is to get mutual support from each other. Number two, it is for these newcomers or the new entrants from their own country, they come to get contacts, to get information on job opportunities. This way of doing things has an impact in reducing the incentives for the new entrants or the new migrants to build their human capital. It reduces their incentives for the migrants to go back to school, to go to universities and build their capacities in terms of skill building. So it has a negative impact on the people who come, especially those who have less than post-secondary education. If, for example, you migrate today to United States or to Germany and you have only a Form 4 certificate, and then you go to a place where people of your own ethnic community stay and they have a large network, then those incentives for you to go back to school to study at the university are reduced significantly, because number one, you have information on job opportunities. Number two, you will get mutual support from your fellow kinsmen. So you will not see the sense of going back to school or going to university, and that is very dangerous. We all should appreciate the importance of having post-secondary education, especially university education. And the problem even persists. What I mean is that if you don't go to university, then the problem persists or becomes stronger. After 5 years of staying in a foreign country, if you have not joined the university, researchers have found out that it will be even much difficult for you to go back to college. Those people who have lower levels of education are the ones who are more likely to depend on contacts, that is on networks. They depend on networking for them to get jobs in their foreign country or adopted country. But those who have high levels of education, probably PhDs in engineering and other fields, they can find jobs without using networks or ethnic contacts. That is what researchers have found out. And finally, those people who seek to more human capital, those people who go back to university when they arrive in new countries or in their adopted countries, they have been found to have a better understanding of the local language or of the language of the host country. They have a better understanding of the language of the host country. For example, if you are in China and you have studied there, you have gone for postgraduate, for undergraduate, postgraduate, and even you have studied for your doctorate within China, for example, or German, you are more likely to understand the language of that country better than someone who doesn't go back to school. The same case if you go to to France, if you go to Turkey, if you go to Iran, if you go to Russia, you are more likely to understand the language of the country if you seek university education or post-secondary education. Secondly, you would have more knowledge of the host country. You would understand the host country better. You would even understand their national anthem. You would understand their culture because you have gone in. You have searched for higher education or post-secondary education. Germany has a policy of dispersing refugees once they arrive in the country. Some of them are sent to cities like Munich, others are sent to Bonn, Cologne, others are sent to Leipzig, Stuttgart, Hanover, Dresden, Berlin, Potsdam, and many others. So the way they are dispersed, they find it very difficult to come together with other people from the same ethnic community. So you find, because they are dispersed, they are forced to invest on human capital. That is why around the world you can find refugees who are highly learned because they do not have another option. And as we said before, the people who are not learned, who do not have post-secondary education qualifications, are the one who depend on contacts and networking mostly to get the jobs. But these guys, refugees, they are dispersed, and hence they have to depend on technical skills which they acquire from university education or college education. Up to this point, we have to give credit to the researchers who did the research, which we have highlighted or we have reviewed here. One is Michel Battisti, who is the assistant professor, University of Trento. The second researcher is Giovanni Pelli, the professor and chairman of Department of Economics of California, Davis. Then number 3 is Agnese Romiti. Agnese Romiti is a researcher, Institute of Employment Research, IAB. Thank you very much. Thank you for tuning in to Kerosi TV and to the GK show. See you next time on the internet.